All right, this is quite a problem. So the way it was written a little funny. Um, so if it is like this is saying that g of x at that point, it's going to be 2 divided by x, and then we add 1. But this is going to be a problem. I actually tried that, and there was no solution if that's the case. So it's just a typo. So I'm going to put some parentheses over there. So it's 2 divided by x plus 1. Same thing with this x plus 4 over here. Same thing. So yeah, that's a piecewise function. This will work. And it looks like we're looking for f of negative 3. And the function f actually has this interesting relationship. So let's try, what if x equals negative 3? Because then f of negative 3 will show up, and maybe we could figure it out. So I'm going to try plugging it in. So 2 times negative 3 minus 8 times f of negative 3 plus f in the inside, it's g of negative 3. And that's going to be negative 3 minus 2. I'm going to focus on this right here, the inside of f of this case. So g of negative 3, we could actually figure that number out. So notice negative 3, that is less than negative 2. So we're going to have to use this formula. So it's going to be 2 divided by negative 3 plus 1. So I just use that formula since the x was less than negative 2. So this is going to be 2 over negative 2, which is negative 1. Okay. So this thing is the same thing as, I'm just going to replace this negative 3, g of negative 3. I'm going to replace that with negative 1. Okay. I'm not going to bother simplifying the other ones, not yet. I'll do it a little later. So what happens at x equals negative 1? Because notice there's a relationship at f at negative 1. So let's see. So 2 times negative 1 minus 8 times f at negative 1. Notice if we were able to solve for negative 1, we can plug that new number, plug it into the first equation, and solve for f of negative 3. Okay. Let's see if that will work. Plus f of g at negative 1. Okay, it's going to be negative 1 minus 2. All right, so g at negative 1. Negative 1 is between negative 2 and 0. So we're going to use negative 4 divided by x. So negative 4 divided by our x value, which is negative 1. Notice that's going to be a 4. Okay. So that mess right there is going to be f of 4. Okay. Now, let's see what happens at 4. All right, we got this. F at 4. So it's going to be 2 times 4. 2 times 4 minus 8. And I don't know if that rings a bell. Well, that's kind of sus. 2 times 4 minus 8. That's 8 minus 8. That's going to be 0. So it doesn't matter what this is going to be, f of 4. That's going to go away. So let's keep on going. Plus f of g of 4. Okay, equals 4 minus 2. Okay. So yeah, remember that thing goes to 0. So this goes away. All right, now let's see if you can figure out what's f of g of 4. Okay, so g of 4 looks like it's going to be bigger than 2. So we're going to do the formula that 12 divided by x plus 4, which is 4 plus 4. Notice that's 12 over 8. And that's going to be, it's going to simplify down to 3 halves because each are divisible by 4. So We could take out a 4 each. All right. So now we just figured out that f of g of 4, oh wait, that's going to be f of 3 halves. F of 3 halves is going to equal 2. Interesting. Okay. Not quite there. We're almost there. Okay. What happens if we input x equals 3 halves? Okay. So we get 2 times 3 halves minus 8 of f of 3 halves. Okay. This thing plus f of g of 3 halves. Okay. And that's going to equal 3 halves minus 2. All right. Okay, what's g of 3 halves? Well, 3 halves, that's 1.5. So that's going to be in this little interval. Okay. So we're going to plug in 1 minus 6 over x. 6 divided by 3 halves. Okay. So that's going to be 1 minus, and then we got to, if we're dividing, we're going to flip and multiply. Okay, 6 times 2/3. And looks like that's going to be 1 minus 4. 1 minus 4, isn't that negative 3? Yo. So this thing right there, let's see, g of 3 halves, we figured out that's going to be negative 3. Notice that f of 3 show up. That's exactly what we want. Okay. Oh, and we already figured out f of 3 halves, that's going to be 2. I'm just going to plug it in right there. So, okay, let's simplify this then. So we have 3 minus 8. Going to plug in that 2. Okay, plus f of 3, f negative 3, equals, and 3 halves minus 2, that's 1.5 minus 2. That's a negative a half. So negative 1/2. 3 minus 8, that's negative 5. Negative 5 times 2, that's just negative 10. F of negative 3 equals negative 1/2. Okay, so looks like we can add 10 to both sides, and we get f of negative 3. Okay, it's going to be negative 1/2 plus 10. Wait, okay, we can do that pretty quickly. That's going to be 20 halves minus 1, so 19 halves. Dang. And we just figured out what f of negative 3 is. What a problem.